What are the main components of a ritual? Is it the intellection, the scholarly affairs, reading? No, this is the knowledge, episteme, that may be applied in a ritual, or it may be relegated to these scholarly affairs. Is it the feeling, as one experience between lovers in youth? It is a form of syntony, but it is still not a ritual. Is it vain talking like I engage in right now? Is it saying to the spirit, I command you? It is not so. Is it the perception, the hieroglyph, seer, that you change the way of seeing into a magical worldview? Perhaps this is the basis. Perception is everything. Is it the magical potential that you have? How is it that some effectuate their magic and some do not? Even if they try hard, they have no magical potential at all. Their words are wasted. They moved to the desert. And it was written in the I Ching that the word of a wise man is respected 10,000 miles away. A word of a fool or angry word, foolish word is cut at the tip of the tongue before it reaches anyone else. Note, the framework of the ritual is first things first, imagination of a child. If you are capable of imagining things impossible, that's the first step. Maturity demands hermetic delineations. So you take this broad imagination, large amounts of knowledge, and you apply it to the works of effects. You apply it to coordinates, to the orders of reference, to the things you know and things you do. Now, if I decide to create a vortex of energy and launch several modules written in Akkadian, a blessing in cuneiform in gold over there. It is seen on the other side. Can they read it? Maybe the gods can. Maybe the ancient spirits of Akkadians may. Am I apt at Akkadian, Sumerian, Assyrian, Neo-Babylonian? Not at all. But somehow I can create a whole wall covered with those symbols. And I intuitively know what it means without knowing it. This is the path to sacredness. Something profane is something touched by mortal, understood by mortal. The sacred is never captured. It is never understood. It is suspended in between knowledge and complete unknowledge. Now if I see a winged damsel over there in gold and silver, I mean, assume that it may be a local agency or an intelligence dispatched to me in order to conjure this lecture to inspire. Do I decide to elongate my spiritual arm in order to touch her cheek in great profound delicacy? Or do I prefer to jaw this demon through the window in his black form? This is all vulgarity. Now there are so many means, traditions and methods in magic. What is above the horizon is Jupiter Optimus Maximus, a great nature of the planetary sphere, divided further into octaves: Zeus Meilichius, Zeus Sabazius. Do I try to understand the geometry, the theology of arithmetic of this sphere? I know it is inhabited by millions of spirits in various hierarchies, hierarchical belonging to many worlds of Jupiter. Jupiter is a large gaseous giant. Physical objective astronomy teaches us. Yet from the perspective of divinity, it is a world full of splendor, glory, kingly attributes, queenly attributes. And an intelligence of Jupiter arrived. If that gentleman, that spirit of Jupiter would incarnate into me, if I would perform invocation, would my character grow great, noblier, kinglier, of more refined qualities, sublime, subtle, ready to command, charismatic? Perhaps. There is a saying that demons were once called, now they come by themselves. And the era of blindness of humanity forces a situation in which the divine continuous act works, whether humans are turning their faces away from it, or whether they engage into purposeful rites, priesthoods, ceremonies, acts, theurgy, and so on and so on. What is the limit to magic? It is as if asking what is the limit to nature in all its living forms. What is the limit of the other side? It is pertaining to the other side. It is the limit of the nature of metaphysics that delimit it. An imagination may be infinite, but there are things that work and things that don't. And by exploring this and building a hermetica, incorporating this metaphysics of arete, metaphysics of the laws, down to human level, incorporating this makes you into a magician. Likewise, in individuation, you pitch towards divinities, you pitch towards nature, this hello, that friend. The genius of the place. Right now I'm living in Lublin, a city in eastern Poland. There are many locals on the other side, which I dearly respect. I'm a guest here. Yet there are so many functions of magic: protective, apotropic, active, commanding, possessing, mediumizing, forcing to obey, mystical, receptive, letting it flow through you, transforming, transmutating, rectifying, respiritualizing, that it is difficult to put it down in words without practicing it. And every space of a magician is his temple, hell's temple. No matter where you are, in the fields, in the steppes, in the deserts, in this small little bachelor's flat. What you conjure in your sacred space, your sacred temple, is one thing. Being a sacred temple yourself is another. A temple to the spirits, a temple to your soul, your own diamond, your own heart. And yet beware, because as soon as you realize that you're a diamond and rectify it in the temple yourself, you may lose yourself in inflation, saying, I am the god, there are no other gods, which is pure nonsense. There are deities of high greatness, profundity, forces, powers. And as long as you recognize this unity with them, you don't separate into alienation, and you lead a truly heroic life. Entering the divine stream, no matter whether you fall, slip, degenerate, rot, is being within the divine stream. The gods and goddesses surround you because you're one of them. as a small date. And in this character, you perform magic. For what? In order to coordinate and catalyze. In order to redeify yourself, respiritualize yourself, return home after you pass away from this land of a dream. Life, the only reality, ausniosme spare one's rope. Which means that this is the more stable framework of reference in flesh, in Dionysian tomb that you can get. When you die, it's like a dream. More dense, but you expand away from your mortal monkey mind, away from your mortal emotions, feelings and instincts. And how you train yourself and discipline yourself, how you perfect yourself, will give you an output of what you will become in the afterlife. You will follow your love. If you loved attachments, you'll go to the attachments. There is a story about an old lady that loved gardening. She didn't see anything else apart from flowers and gardens. She loved it. She became a nature spirit after she passed away. A sylvan that was taking care of the gardens in the afterlife, because that is what she loved the most. You follow what you hate, you follow what you love, you follow what you are attached. And by detaching yourself from all of it, you are a traveler to many worlds. As soon as you realize that you don't belong to any reality, you travel to many of those. As soon as it doesn't absorb you as the one and only. If you end up in hell, oh well, make it your home. But as long as you remember that you are detached from it, you can travel to hells and heavens all you please. Been there, done that, traveled here, traveled there, through eons, through stars infinite. Now in flesh, in this body, a spirit incarnating into a newborn of the human mortal race. Oh well. And yet I decided not to waste it and pursue my paths, the alchemical travel, the alchemical path. And from such a heroic perspective, this life, with a downcast as a beggar, a suffered, agonized person, or a grand emperor, it's all within the wheel of forges, but it is how you approach it. You may be a mighty emperor beggar, or an emperor that is a miserable wretch. So simple. And in this speech, I just wanted to utter my wholesome contentment and gratitude toward the divine and hellish for fulfilling my life and rounding it into a form of completeness. In Buddhism and Hindu traditions, these skulls symbolize the conquered delusions. And sure, sometimes they try to speak, they try to bring you back to the wrong senses. And that means that you didn't complete it perfectly, that you're not perfectly detached. And attachment is not indifference. You may act and engage, but you are detached. You may feel, you may commit, but you are detached. You may fight your combats, rally your armies, but you are detached. You may love, hate, you may create great things or petty things of hate, but you are detached. And that doesn't capture you. Don't let yourself be captured. Because as long as you're uncaptured, you are free. And what humans love the most in their original state of civilized people is what is beautiful, what is just, and what is free. Now I could go into those concepts of beauty, freedom, and justice, but they are very complex phenomena and definitions. But there are also powers and forces. There is a power of beauty, power of justice, and power of liberty. Don't explain it to the slave. They won't understand it. They desire it and find surrogates of surrogates of surrogates. What strikes with powers of ideas is that when you feel them in honesty, stripped down to nothingness, you know there are ontological powers as ideas, and they are true and free and beautiful and just. It is so with every power, the power of destruction. If you're stripped down to zero from your mortal shell and you feel the power of destruction, the catalyzing force of pure raging destruction of nature, you know this is this idea. And it is untarnished, unblemished by your mortal mind, body, senses, heart, soul. It is the pure power that goes through you. And its perfection is that you catalyze a pure power, pure, unrestrained, as it is. Magicians modulate those powers. If this pure power comes to you, what you coordinate, how you manage it, you taint it. You taint it and thus you deny it. It goes to your mind in malformed fashion as that of a mortal monkey that wants to command great powers. Because you're in your biological cocoon and your mind and brain and nervous system and soul is limited. There are those who rose amongst mountains and let those powers live through them. They know. And they want to convey that it is a worthy strife. Whether it is love, destruction, hate, greatness, compassion, nobility. To meet with powers and forces, even if once in a lifetime. But never to lose the thread, never to lose the understanding, even if they fade in the memory. You know, and you follow them until the very end.